Randy here. Welcome to Sewing Back. Welcome to my garden. I'm out here. This is my potting table, and I have been out here all day. It has been gorgeous in Kennesaw, Georgia today. I think we got to the mid 60s, and it's February 3rd. So the days are getting longer. The chickens are laying eggs, and so yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's not raining. We're gonna get rain tomorrow though, but that's okay. Um, so today we started our day out. I didn't do any footage of it, but we had to go to our local feed and seed in my hometown of Marietta, Georgia. And that is where we get our layer pellet. I get my winter scratch from them. My summer scratch I mix myself from Azure Standard. I get the grains and do it myself. But for the winter, as long as I have a quality source of corn, I don't mind my chickens having corn. In the winter, it helps keep them warm, particularly if I throw some scratch out in the evening if it gets cool at night. So I needed to go and replenish all of those, and I needed like mealworms. They carry like mealworms. They also carry my hemp bedding now, so I can get that from them. Prior to that, I always was having to get it from Amazon. So, but I didn't need that yet. I still have some of that, and I have the nesting, laying mats and all that. So I didn't have to get any of that stuff today, but I had to get the other stuff, and it is a feed and seed. So they also carry seed, and a lot of time we've gotten seed from them before, and which is fine, nothing wrong with it, and for the most part it's pretty reasonable. But today when I went in, they had their shallots. This is seed shallot, so you plant these. They also had a variety of onions and they were like $1 a pound. So I got sweet onions, and I also got red onions, and they had potatoes. Now, if you've been on the channel, you know I have not had a lot of luck growing potatoes, and I'm convinced for two reasons. One, I have put them in the ground way too late for our climate. Our climate was 7B for as long as we lived here, and it got changed I believe it was last fall, or maybe it was early winter that they changed all that, and we are now in 8A. And I believe that the changes came because they've looked at the climate over 30 years, and that's really where it falls, where you get your first frost or your last frost, and for perennial gardening and stuff. And I have typically started my potatoes, I would say probably probably mid to late March. And then it gets so hot, and they just don't do well. Or last year we had a very cool and wet spring, and the potatoes I had rotted in the ground in my bed. I had a deep bed and they rotted. So I didn't get a lot of seed potato because I've just about given up on it. But I was excited. I talked to the lady there. She grows these ones. And I was really excited because these are blue potatoes. And they have lots of all these little things. These are all the seed. So I haven't typically gotten them this size. I've ordered expensive ones online, and that was a waste of my time and money. Got nothing. And then I've done the cheap ones from Tractor Supply, still got nothing. So I thought, you know what, we're gonna give these a try. But they had different ones. They had like the Yukon Golds. They had there's one, something back, Kennebec or something like that. And I'm not real sure if that's a cream potato. I don't really know. And then they had red potatoes, and those are the only ones where I've had some success, not much. But I wanted to try the blue potatoes because I've actually read that they are supposed to be better for your blood sugar. Now, of course, when you cook them, they're not blue. And I don't even know if you can see, but it has like a blue hue under the skin. So I got a couple pounds of these, and she told me to cut them, make sure that it had an eye, and plant them. And so she said 2 pounds, I should get a good bit of potatoes. So that's what I have. So I thought, and like I said, I got the shallot sets and the onion sets, and I'm gonna plant those as well. We are expecting some rain tomorrow. Like I said, I think it's gonna come in the afternoon. The other thing she gave me, which I wanted to encourage you, wherever you live, to check out your extension services. I have talked about the extension service before on the channel. That's where you can get your soil, most extension services, you can get the soil things to get your soil tested to see what amendments you might need in your garden beds, or if you're direct sowing in the ground, or you're tilling a garden up, or you're gonna plant fruit trees or whatever. They're gonna tell you for where you live, and what minerals and all the different things that your soil might need for, whatever, to be successful. So ours is through the University of Georgia, UGA extension, and we have it in our county, and you can go, I think it costs $9 to get a soil sample test, and then you get like a email that will break down the whole thing. And they also talk about the things in your area, because they'll have your address, your zip code when you send that off, and they will tell you what will be successful, what varieties could be successful, what you need to do, and all the things. Lots of great information. They also a lot of times have free garden seeds. They also will have lots of good information and classes and things like that for like maybe pest management in your area if you're trying to garden more organically, and not with pesticides and chemicals. They can also talk about fertilizing and composting and all the different things. So if you have not checked out your extension office, you should. I know that they get tax money to help with all that, so you pay taxes, take advantage of it. That's not to say there won't be any costs. They may have some costs, but it's usually pretty inexpensive. But they always will put out these gardening sheets every year. And so this is for this year. This is for the home garden. You can see the home garden planting chart. And it goes through my area. So this was published by UGA in cooperation with Fort Valley State University, which is in South Georgia, and the Department of Agriculture. And so this will tell you what to plant, when to plant it. It gives you the spring start dates, the fall start dates. It tells you how far apart to plant it. It tells you how many days till maturity, so you know when to harvest it, the distance between plants, and the depth of the plant. It is super easy to follow. It is kind of generic, so it doesn't tell you every lettuce. It tells you lettuce. It'll tell you corn. It's not going to tell you all the different varieties. It's going to say corn. You still want to look at your seed packs and stuff like that, but this is a great guide for when to sow seeds and when to get them in the ground. So I hope that you'll look up your extension office. So what I wanted to do, I don't have a lot of light left. I'm loving the longer days. And so I have a couple things that I want to get in the ground, because it is, if I looked at my extension office, one of the things that I need to be planting in the next 2 weeks, direct sowing, are my peas. So these are going to be like your not southern, not like black-eyed peas, but your sweet peas, sugar snap peas, all those. So I have some of those I brought. You can also be planting your carrots. And so I brought those out. And now is the time to put the onion sets in. I still have my Savannah onions that we did on the channel from seed. They're planted, they're doing okay, they're holding their own. and I'm thankful for that. Let's see. Oh, and I brought out some more carrots. And some of the carrots that I planted and lettuces and onions that I planted, I did some bunching onions in my sweet potato bed after we harvested it. And I just didn't have enough for it to germinate before, you know, the colder days and stuff got in. Well, it's all germinating now. So I will get that harvest. But I have some of these, and I'm going to put these in the ground. And these are from Haas, and these are the Purple Elite carrots. And these are older seeds, and so I'm going to go ahead and get those in the ground today. And I'm also going to get my onion sets in. So when you have your onion sets, if you can see, so you can see this is where the top is, and that's where your root is. So this is going to go down into the soil, and this will be what shoots up, just like your garlic. So, and like on your red ones, you can see that's going to be the one down, and that's going to be, this will shoot up and be green, and it'll get squatty. Well, especially the sweet onions, they get kind of squatty. These will kind of bulb up. I don't know if they'll be a little oblong or not. And like this one, you can see is already starting to have sprouted. So I want to get those in my garden, and I don't know if I'm going to have enough light to cut my potatoes. So I may do that and tag that into this video so you can see both. Now the shallots, and I'm not sure that this one tells me about shallots. It doesn't. She told me to treat it like an onion, except they need, they grow in clusters. So you're going to, you have the same thing on the bottom, and this will blossom at the top, but you're gonna need more space because it's gonna spread out, because they're like clusters. I don't know if you can see. They're gonna be kind of like, you're gonna have like 4 of these growing in a cluster, and then you harvest it. And so I got 2, 4, 6, 8. I got 10 of those to try, because I love shallots. So I thought even if I could just get them and then I could dehydrate them. I love dehydrated shallots. I love to use that in cooking and stuff. So yeah. So anyway, while I have some light, I'm gonna start going around some of the perimeters of my beds, because one of the things which y'all saw me, if you watched our garlic when I planted it, particularly my soft neck garlic, I went around the perimeter of the bed, because one of the things I found in my garden last year were all the beds that had a perimeter of garlic. I didn't have any pest pressure. Matter of fact, I didn't have any pest pressure at all until after, probably about in August, I started seeing a little bit of pest pressure, and because I had harvested all my garlic. And so it is a great one to companion plant with most things you're gonna have. And so that's what I'm gonna do with my onions, because onions are much the same way. Pests don't like onions, they don't like garlic. And so I'm gonna use that to my advantage, and I'm gonna start planting around the perimeters of my bed. And I'm gonna take you along as much as I can while I have some light. So let's get planting. Can you see the start of that? It's the eye coming out. It's starting to do its thing. So I just have a knife. It's one of John's knives. And this one can make lots of seed potatoes to plant. So you just want to make sure you have, that one's a clear eye, but there's another one. So each piece has to have, there's some more. So I think I'm gonna cut it in half. Isn't that pretty? Honestly, I think I'm just going to cut them in half. Like that. Because both ends have such good eyes on them. I don't want to screw it up. Alright, so this one I think I'll cut in thirds. And I'm gonna put these in my garage so they can kind of dry out from where I made this cut, and then I'm gonna get them planted. And I'll show you when we get to planting. I think again I'm just gonna cut this in half. I may be going back for more of these. I'm kind of getting excited about them. Maybe I'll get some red ones. This was a total impulse buy. But it was $1 a pound. Was it $1 a pound? I think it was $1. Yeah, and I got 2 pounds, so $2. Okay. And okay. So I'm gonna put these on something. Hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna sit these in here, and I'm not putting them in my greenhouse because I've had issue. If you've been on the channel, you'll know I had issue with rats getting my sweet potatoes and eating them. So I'm going to take these inside, let them dry out just a bit for a few days, and then we'll get these planted, I hope later this week, and I'll bring you along for that. So guys, the only thing I haven't planted are, I got the shallots all planted in the bed that have my Savannah onions and what's left of my collards. I did in my 1 square bed, I did carrots, some purple carrots. I did sweet onion, and I planted a whole row of peas. On this other side, and the opposite, the mirrored bed, on that one, I'm gonna do sugar snap peas. I don't have those out there. Sorry, my garden lights, everything's come on because it's getting pretty dark. And so I did get carrots, peas, onions, shallots planted. We've got our potatoes cut so they can heal over. And then I still have some more onions. I haven't planted any of my red onions yet. So I'm gonna go pop those in, but I'm not gonna film it because I don't think you'll be able to see it too well. But I have enough light from the garden, I can do that and get them in the ground. But anyway, I just want to thank you for stopping by, and I hope you are getting excited about your garden season. What growing zone are you? Tell me in the comments. What are you most looking forward to trying to plant this year? I'd like to hear about it. Anything interesting? Anything I should be trying to grow? Also, I wanted to show you, I can't believe this. I got this was a eucalyptus, like it was I guess it was like a propagation that I had gotten at a plant, what was it? It was a plant sale for our master gardeners in our county, and it was just like a little shoot, and I put it in one of these Bootstrap Farmer grow bags, and look at it. It's gorgeous. I'm excited. It's gotten big enough this year that I think I can actually take some of the pieces and do some flower arranging this coming year when my roses and all my flowers come in. So that makes me excited, but I can't believe, I've heard these are really difficult, and I can't believe how well it's done. And I just stuck it in a grow bag, you know, and it's happy in there, so I'm not gonna mess with it. But anyway, I guess that was a side note. Anyway, I thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.